Hi guys, I'm Shmee, and for today's episode on the Where's Shmee Euro Tour, you join us at the side of one of the most famous tracks out there. This is Fiorano in Maranello, of course. It's a place I've come many times before, seen a lot of very exciting cars, and today we're able to hear a 488 race car blasting around, so we'll catch a glimpse of that in a second. Today's route is taking us over to the west coast of Italy via some spectacular roads, lots and lots of twisties, so we'll be driving with the three cars we're here with, and then we'll be heading up along the coastal route through the tunnels and the flowing highway towards Monaco. Our end destination of this tour, of course, it is the road to Top Marques. Top Marques is starting in a couple of days, but I can't wait to be back down there in Monaco, one of my favourite places ever to go. Now I'm just waiting for this car to come back around so I can catch a glimpse of it. And here it comes. Spectacular dark green. That car looks absolutely lovely, and I imagine it's quite a hell of a lot of fun to drive around this track. So like I said, we've got the three cars, you can see it over there, the 675 LT, the Abt RS6 and the BMW M2. Today I'll be driving the M2, certainly for parts. In fact, probably all three cars. Let me just climb down from the vantage point up there and walk over to the cars. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of an exciting drive. We're going to be making our way all the way. It's about 6 or 7 hours on the road. But this is not a bad set of cars to be doing it with. We obviously have the LT, my car, that we've been doing the tour in, the RS6 from Abt, 735 horsepower RS6, which I will feature in a lot more detail to come. The ultimate support wagon, we're calling it, as we use it to transport luggage and everything. And in fact, right now the boot is completely full of stuff. And then we've got a BMW M2 press car that's with us as well. Now, the M2 is here because my manager, who's driving the tour with us, has ordered an M2 and it comes very soon, but it didn't quite arrive in time for this trip, and BMW very kindly provided this car for us to use. So I will be filming with it and talking all about the new baby BMW sports car. So this is quite fun. That 488 is still blasting around. We'll catch a few more clips of that, and then we will make our way out onto some rather lovely roads. Firstly, talk 675 LT, because the roads we're driving today are freaking phenomenal. I have no sort of better way to describe this, and I'm going to quickly jump to my conclusion and then do this the other way around. And basically, after driving this car on similar kind of roads and terrain last year, the end of the year when I headed to south of France, and on roads going in this direction in Italy, I basically thought this was the best car in existence. And I still think this is the best car in existence, so I'm rather pleased I own one and have the other one coming. So this thing, with these tyres, has eliminated the only issue I had, which was that the car almost had too much power for the P0 tyres. Now obviously you can't use these tyres, the Trofeo R's, in all terrain, but driving on them right now, the speed and sort of poise and grip and agility of the car around corners is just breathtaking. It has so much control, so much ability, and it's I don't know how to explain how much sort of confidence inspiring sort of sense of all-round occasion and drama and enjoyment and just everything I can just talk forever about it, because I mean, yeah, these roads aren't the smoothest in the world, but when you're on it and pushing on and having fun, I'm not going to do that while I'm talking, because, well, for many reasons. If you're talking to the camera, you're not concentrating necessarily 100% on the road, as hard as you may try, so I stick to doing it separately. But this is just such an amazing thing to be driving, and it feels totally at home on the beautiful roads here in Italy. And the noise just cracks on shifts, and I get loads of people always telling me, why do you never go to the red line? Well, I think that's just you guys on YouTube watching, because you can quite like have a lot of fun up to the red line, but it's just amazing. And then when you brake hard, you have the massive air brake obviously going up in the rear view mirror. It boggles the mind. It just boggles the mind how good this car is. It's definitely the best car on the road short of hypercar territory. Everything about it, the agility, the feel, the steering, the power, the sound, the emotion, the enjoyment of the drive, it's all absolutely spot on. Obviously the Spider Coupe discussion can probably go on forever. Different people have different things they like out of them. But this for me is just absolute heaven right now. Absolute heaven in the nice hairpins. Cracks of the exhaust, left, right and centre. It's breathtaking. There is no question that these roads are absolutely awesome. This is an awful lot of fun, and I seem to, though, have chosen pretty much the coldest, windiest, cloudiest place to stop for lunch, which was not my intention. But we're going to go inside and grab a bite to eat and reflect on that. However, after lunch, I'm going to be driving the BMW M2. This will be my first time driving in the car. We've had it with us for a couple of days, but I have not yet been behind the wheel. So that does mean I will have to entrust the steering wheel of the 675 LT to one of my co-drivers, but we will get to that. Anyway, let's talk M2, of course, the newest car from BMW's M division, and a very, very exciting one. They've always had this history with the small coupes, you know, the E46 M3, the 1M, we've had the M4. In fact, this car learns a lot from the M4. Straight 6, 3-litre engine, I should get the words right, twin scroll turbocharger, 370 brake horsepower, 1,500 kilos curb weight. And just look at the thing, especially in this colour, Long Beach blue, looks awesome. You've got everything you'd expect, you know, the enlarged, more aggressive front end for extra cooling through the winglets. You've got the wheel design from the M4. You've got a number of components actually borrowed from the M4, things like the differential, the steering, the suspension, a lot of the setup. Maintains typical BMW M styling with the quad exhaust tips around the rear, the smallest M car. And yeah, it certainly has a lot of road presence. Now, like I said, I haven't driven it yet. We will be jumping out in the car very, very shortly. But just taking a look around it, actually quite like the front grille with the M2 badge here. Quite aggressive lines. I've been told it sort of learns, it's a lot more, well, M4-like than 235i like. M235. Inside, it is of course very similar to the 2 Series. I do like the blue stitching M logo there on the seat. And yeah, actually let's turn it on while I'm here. Let's start this up. Actually quite a noise to it. Let's put it in noisy mode. Okay, so let's go. Well, firstly I'm going to go and eat, but the next time you're going to see me, we're going to be driving the M2. Well, initially it is very quiet, very comfortable, and very, very chilled out. This I perhaps didn't expect. So I was thinking it might be a little bit more raw, but in the comfort mode, it's super, super relaxed, super, super smooth. Not too violent, not too rough riding. Steering's very soft, doesn't quite have the feel you want from it, obviously electronic steering. But that's the GT kind of style. It's easy, it's light, it just wafts on, and it sort of relaxes you back. Now, given that we're in twisty roads, this is not right at all. Let's put it initially into sport. So that will obviously make the throttle a little bit more responsive and tighten up the steering. And you can immediately feel the ride is a little bit rougher or tougher as well. And I can feel that the steering there's more weight to it, more pointy. And we're off down a nice twisty road here. Obviously automatic on the gearbox, we've got the 7-speed DCT. Also available with a 6-speed manual, but if you have the 6-speed manual you don't have launch control, and smoky burnout mode, which is by virtue of its name something rather fun. So as I'm coming down here, I've literally been driving the car just for a couple of moments before I started recording this video, so I've got a lot to learn, and this road is spectacularly horrendous. Yes, I think if I was in the LT right now I'd be a lot less happier. And I'm watching it being driven in my rearview mirror very gently, which is nice of Mark, who's at the wheel. He's been driving this car for most of the time so far. So let's blip it up a little bit on the paddles. Obviously a very, very quick shift. Here's some of that raspy noise coming through. It is a very quiet car. I think that's probably the one thing that's surprising me a little bit. But then that's the positioning, isn't it? It's not an out-and-out race car. This road is spectacularly rough, so really an interesting place to be testing it actually, and seeing how it conforms to the surfaces. But it's very nimble. It feels very small, very positionable. I would certainly imagine that the LT down here would feel very big. And I guess comparing race car to sports coupe, sorry, this is obviously a significantly more appropriate proposition for this kind of environment. So, well, that was quite nice. Downshift very fast, very neat. I'm cruising down the hill. I'm actually going downhill enough that even my ears are popping, so I haven't had an opportunity to put down the power yet and feel the throttle response, which is in theory tightens up being in the sportier driving mode. So let's waft around a few more corners and see if we can get out of this little town and somewhere a little bit more free-flowing. But initial impressions are really rather good. It's a very nice place to be driving from. You can imagine a long trip, no problems, very comfortable. So it's no surprise really that they are selling like hotcakes. I think if you want to buy one of these now, you're already looking at something like a 1.5-year wait list, maybe even 2 years. I think the total UK production run is about 2,000 cars expected versus 450 1Ms that we had before. Obviously the manual version only in the 1M. So 2,000 cars seems like quite a lot, but it's actually pretty limited numbers compared to the demand for the M2. So they've done quite well there. It's available in black, white, grey, or this car, Long Beach Blue. Yeah, I'm liking this. Right, we're out. Let's very sensitive brake. The brakes are actually the same as the M3, M4. You have to adapt to the different pedal feels, of course, when you're moving between cars. But No ceramic brake option available on this car. That's only reserved for M4. And the start price, when I'm thinking about it, is £44,000, 46 and a half if you opt for the DCT like this car has. So price point wise, interesting one, it's actually about a seventh of the price of the LT. It's a lot more than the seventh of the fun, as amazing as the LT is. That sort of metric always goes wrong, doesn't it? So driving it, it's very pointy, very playful, very fun. There's a lot of tech features just letting me know there that I'm gaining on the car in front of me. Thank you very much, dashboard. Yeah, all round a pretty good package. I'm looking forward to driving it again, of course, getting to know it a little bit more, and pushing on a little bit further as we go. Off we go. It really, really is an absolute hoot to drive in this kind of environment. The ride is not as firm as I thought it might be. I mean, I haven't put it in Sport Plus yet, but just blasting down this road is awesome, awesome, awesome. And you get the occasional pop and sort of burble from the exhaust notes as well, which is quite nice. But really, where it's very, very tight and twisty and you need to be nimble and very, very, very accurate, this is phenomenal. As that car went past us, I was making sure it could get through the narrow gap. But all seems to be well, and it is really quite exciting driving with the LT following in my mirrors. I am absolutely loving that. But we've had a lot of hairpins. I've got another one here, and just this car, oh, gotta go there around with the steering there, give you a bit more lock, is really, 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 really something. It really, really is a lot of fun for the price point, and it's just so positionable. It's got a sort of playful twang to it that the M4 missed slightly, you know, by being a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter, but still maintaining a lot of, I guess, the learnings from that car, all incorporated into this one, really has made it that fun little package. It's got the, you know, the character that I think a lot of BMW fans were hoping it would have, and that's why it's reaching such high demand. But just playing around with it now, I'm really, really enjoying this. It's a very usable amount of power. This sort of sub 400 horsepower category, or around 400 horsepower, is where you can put your foot down, stretch out towards the red line in a car, and just generally enjoy it without feeling like you're absolutely terrifying the daylights out of yourself. Because, well, 675 horsepower, for example, means you get very quick, very, very fast. You can actually put that the other way around. You get very fast, very, very quickly, which can sometimes be a little bit much. But for this kind of drive, this is a lovely car to be in, and let's face it, you can have all the luggage space in the back. You can even have 4 people in here. You've got all the sort of comforts, electronics, features, sort of assists you would like to have in a nice BMW. So, draw out to the red line. It is a good car to be driving. I'm a happy boy. Find myself back in the McLaren then. We've got the lovely, lovely, lovely winding roads and tunnels. Well, I've been enjoying hearing it from the outside, but now I'm going to be at the wheel for the final stint into Monaco. We're going to head down into town, do a quick lap around Monaco to see what's going on in before the end of daylight. Then we'll head up and go and visit the house that we're going to be staying at for next week. So take a look up there, but I am excited. I absolutely love Monaco, as you know. I spent a lot of time there in the last year, and every time I go back is just insanely exciting. There are so many tunnels on this final stint, and every time I get to do that. Ourselves behind a Tesla from Norway. So just to think about that, he's come an awfully long way. And, oh, we're into a trap. Oh. charge up or stop or how, you know, 400 kilometers a tank is still going to take an awfully long time to get here. But anyway, good on him. Down the hill to Monaco. Now the tennis has been on, so it's very, very busy. There is a lot of traffic, and look, it's absolute carnage. You have the tennis and top marks at exactly the same time, which never quite works as intended. But we're going to go down and have a look around the town, see what's going on. Our first supercar for Monaco, an Aventador Roadster. Not such a normal Aventador Roadster either. That's got an interesting kit on it. Straight, and we're crossing the line at 17 kilometers an hour. Well, the Formula 1 cars do it a little bit quicker than that, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it? They're setting up for the historic Grand Prix at the moment, so all the barriers and everything going up. But it's a bit of fun to drive the F1 circuit. It's always kind of the first thing I do when I get back. Then we've got to meet up with the other cars that we've lost on the way around. We'll find them in a second. Driving into Casino Square. This is always good times. Right, so Rolls Royce. That's a very Monaco start. There's some weird clouds hanging above us, and photographers absolutely everywhere. But as we go round, let's see. Oh, there's an Aventador SV Roadster. Obviously, wouldn't be Monaco if there wasn't. I can't see anything over to the right yet, but normally there would be outside the casino. Feels like I haven't been here for ages, but in reality it's only been like 3 months, 4 months. Feels like there aren't very many cars. Oh, I say there aren't very many cars. Look at what we've got here. We've got a Hurricane Spider. Shmee. And on the other side we've got Gumpert Apollo. Okay, we've got an Apollo parked at the casino. Probably can't see any of that behind the crowd, but yeah. Monaco. Hey, how's it going? And there's the RS6. So we can exit uphill. Perfect. We're now up in the hills at the house that we're going to be staying at. So the two cars are up here. The M2 has gone actually on a supermarket run, and we're basically up in the clouds, which is a little bit strange. But this is where we're staying. This house is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to take you on a mini house tour because I did this last year, a little house tour when we arrived at our location. So let's do the same again. Let me take you inside. So we're greeted by Seb on the phone, who's awkwardly now like, why is the camera pointing at me? Little living room, dining table area, another bit of living room. We've got the kitchen. Come through. I'm going to head upstairs. Office and other sorts of rooms down here. Let's come up. We've got some bedrooms. We haven't yet assigned who's going to go where, but double bedrooms en suite. Very, very beautiful location. The bedroom here with a terrace outside. Not sure if the weather is going to be favourable to us this week for that. Let's come through to the other end. Another bedroom. I think this will be my bedroom. Bathroom here. And the reason I'm choosing this one is this view. That is Monte Carlo. What a stunning view from up here. We can take a look down at some of the yachts. Imagine if you were here during Formula 1, you'd be able to see the cars racing around down there. The pit lane. That's phenomenal. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Amazing. Yeah, this is a cool place to stay. So let me head back in. Oh, I'm a black shadow against the light. Close that. I'll do that later. So, a couple of other bedrooms around. Extra bedroom in here. And the last one here. So, oh, we've lost some focus. Come on, it's got a bit dark, I think. So the whole team will be able to stay up here, which is going to be fun. Of all the cars, I'm sure during the week there'll be some other cars coming to join. But this has been a pretty good start to our little stay in Monaco. And yeah, needless to say, this is going to be a good week. This is going to be a very good week. In true Monaco YouTuber fashion, I forgot to end my video tonight, so, well, I'm ready for the night, doing other things, but we'll wrap it up here. It's been a pretty cool day. This house is awesome. The roads today were amazing, and obviously driving the M2 as well, so make sure you stay tuned, because from now on, it's all about top marks. That's it for tonight though, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Cheers! Okay, so here we go. P1 time. Got the lift system up already, that's going to make it easy to get. If Porsche offered me a GT3 RS, I would not take a second to think about buying one. Let's jump in.